We sure are living in interesting times right now, aren't we? Between the economy and the Florida housing market. Well, typically the housing market is right in the middle of everything. And I've been involved in real estate for quite a long time, and the trends of economics of the housing market is absolutely fascinating to me. We have just completed 2022 and we're moving into 2023, and it's been a wild ride for the past few years, and I believe that even Disney couldn't duplicate this ride. So the questions I'm usually asked are, is the market collapsing? Are housing prices dropping like a rock? Can anyone afford a home? What about these interest rates? Is it even possible to purchase a home? Well, there are so many questions about the market. So I compiled some very timely data from both economists of the National Association of Realtors and the Florida Realtors, which I want to share with you. And I feel you're going to be quite surprised on the reality of what is expected to occur and what has really been occurring. So I'm going to tell you right now, buckle your chin strap because we're in for quite a ride. Last year when I made the same type of video, I predicted there would be at least 3 rate hikes, which would push buyers into the market, and that's exactly what happened. So as you look at this slide, here is a visual to see how quickly the interest rates have escalated, and they haven't been this high since 1999. Doesn't it sort of look like a rocket ship just lifted off? Just think, a year ago they were 3%. As we move along, now look at this chart with the height of sales for the first 6 months of this year, which is the black line, until it cooled off once interest rates started rising. Now sales are high, and if you compare it to 2021, it's really not fair because that was an exceptional year right after the pandemic with a huge housing demand. So it's difficult to compare with that year. But even given that, we still have exceeded all other years since 2018 in sales. As we move along, here is another slide, and you can see what has happened over the past 5 years with pending sales, and look at the black line. All indications of what the high interest rates and inflation does to the real estate market. We are down from 2021, and again, a hard year to compare, but pretty similar to the previous 5 years. Even mortgage applications are declining rapidly. Look what happened in 2020 with the pandemic because of remote working. Many were relocating and purchasing homes. I ask you, so why is the demand falling? Well, the rapid rise in mortgage rates, inflation, reducing real income, economic uncertainty, declining stock market, and the easing of the pandemic and returning to working in the offices. Well, even the cash sales have been declining because of the stock market. It took a sharp decline in 2022. Everyone is talking about prices plummeting in Florida. We're still seeing price appreciation. This slide indicates how prices were so high in the past 6 months of 2022. And even today, we are seeing a 15% increase from the same time last year, which is still incredibly high and creating homes to remain out of reach for so many. What is sustaining home buyer demand? Well, Florida's the place to be. Population growth on all levels. Millennials are reaching prime home buying ages, and seniors and retirees, that population is growing here in Florida. Look at this slide with the job growth. The green states indicate job growth, and Florida has grown 6% in jobs since 2020. And with all the benefits as to no state income tax, etc., you can see why so many buyers put Florida on their list. But then there's the high rents, and look at the insane increase in rents from 2020 to 2021. However, there are indicators that rents are slowing down and should continue to slow down into 2023. As I have mentioned in my other videos, the increase of rentals being built will start lowering rental prices. It's the simple theory of supply and demand. And the last reason is many people are still being able to work remotely. Now I want to give you my predictions. Well, the inventory of homes is rising, but look how low we still are compared to the Great Recession of 2005. The reason they are rising is because homes are staying on the market longer, not that we are getting a lot of fresh new new inventory. The homes are staying in the market longer because of our high interest rates and the reasons I gave you before. In fact, sellers are contracting, which we have not seen in a long time, contributing to the low inventory of only existing homes. On this slide, you can see how our pending sales have sharply decreased and will continue until there is relief in the stock market or the interest rates. As long as inflation keeps growing, so do the interest rates. So as soon as you see that inflation is starting to decline, the interest rates will, and it'll start working into the housing market. Now, most likely many of you are thinking, I'm going to wait for foreclosures. Well, I don't think there are going to be any, or maybe very little. Look at the delinquency. It's almost non-existent. So the bottom line, this will be a cooled housing market with prices of homes remaining stable unless somebody really needs to sell, and then you might get that great deal. Once interest rates begin to come down, then home prices will most likely rise again because there will be less inventory and new construction has really contracted over this period of higher interest rates and inflation. If you like this kind of video, please subscribe and hit the bell so you receive my videos that are released every Tuesday. If you are a buyer out there and you're listening to this, or even a seller and you have questions, please write them below. I will make sure I get back to you. I know I enjoy working on the Treasure Coast of Florida, and I hope to see you soon on one of my next videos. And until next time, see you later.